Hello viewers, I am Lakshmi Padmanabhan. Welcome to Gandhi Hacks in South Africa. We have seen that Gandhi Bhai was planning to come back to India to take his family with him. On June 4th, 1896, he was given a very warm send-off by the Gujaratis and Tamils of South Africa. On 5th June, he boarded SS Pangola, steamship Pangola, bound for Calcutta. It was a journey of 24 days. All the 24 days Mohandas Gandhi used very profitably. And what was he doing in the ship? He was studying Tamil and Telugu, making an attempt at being familiar with these two languages, which he thought he would be very grateful to have known once he was back again in Natal. Most of the people he dealt with there were Urdu-speaking Muslims or Tamil-speaking, Telugu-speaking people, and of course other Gujaratis. They could carry on basic communication with him, but he wanted to get closer to them. And not knowing their language was never a hurdle to his winning their hearts for Gandhi. See, as the song goes in Umrao Jaan, Dil cheez kya hai, aap mere jaan lijiye. That was the mood in which they had accepted Gandhi. Still, he wanted to get closer to them. So he was trying to understand Tamil, trying to speak Telugu and Tamil. The SS Pangola reached Calcutta towards the end of June 1896. From there, Gandhi took the train direct to Bombay. But the train had a halt of 45 minutes at Allahabad. So Gandhi thought of having a look around the city and he got out of the train. But as chance would have it, by the time he returned, the train had left the station. Fortunately for him, the station master had thoughtfully kept his luggage out. So Gandhi just picked up the luggage as though nothing had happened. He went and took a room in a hotel and thought of doing his work. Now, what was his work? His only work at that point in time was to work for the South African Indian, to get supporters for that cause, to get friends for the South African Indian. So the speciality of Allahabad, what was there that attracted Gandhi to Allahabad? It was the presence of an English newspaper called The Pioneer. It was famous or notorious for its anti-Indian attitude. But still, Gandhi wanted to take even the opposition on board. So with that idea in mind, he got an appointment with the editor of The Pioneer. The editor, Mr. Chesney, gave him an appointment and he was very patient, listened to Gandhi's views on the South African question. But Mr. Chesney made it clear that he wouldn't be able to support all the demands of the South Africans. He also had to listen to the white settlers there and also the opinions of the authorities. But he promised to give coverage to news about the South African question. Now, that was a very great concession on his part, and Mohandas Gandhi appreciated very much because to get mentioned in the Pioneer was a great thing. As a journalist himself, he knew the power of the press, how the press can influence opinions, how it can spread awareness about all these matters. Mohandas Gandhi himself had a great knowledge. Enthused by this unexpected event, Gandhi went straight to Rajkot, skipping Bombay on the way. He was meeting his family after 3 years. Was he as excited to meet Kasturba, Manilal and Harilal and his brother and their sons as he was at meeting Mr. Chesney? We don't know. Bapu does not say anything about the excitement at meeting his family. No need of mentioning, they could have been excited on both sides, we would have loved it. But anyway, the question that we ask ourselves about such people is, Was the private man lesser than the public man? A question is an open thing. We can answer it the way we like. Anyway, Bapu does mention, write in detail about what he did in the first month of his return to Rajkot. He spent 1 month in writing a pamphlet, which came to be known as the Green Pamphlet. It had a green cover, that is why it came to be called a green pamphlet. The green pamphlet was written in a very understated style. It of course dealt with the condition of the South African Indian, but it did not in any way exaggerate the sufferings. It was actually underplaying the hatred, the resentment that were being shown by the white people. But somehow the impact it had later was not all that desirable. He made 10,000 copies were sent to all the newspapers, all the prominent people. I said, the pioneer, whose editor he had met on his way back, made a summary of it and sent it to the London office, to the Reuters office in London. Now the Reuters office in London made another summary of it. It was twice removed from the original, and you know what happens when a story is narrated by 2 or 3 people. At the end of the third story, it's a different story altogether. So the news that came out, the summary that came out and was read by the South Africans themselves, the white people of South Africa, was really very, very mischievous. It was not Gandhi's language at all. It was written in a very provocative style, far removed from the understated manner of Gandhi. While he was busy with the green pamphlet, plague had hit Bombay, and there were fears in Rajkot. Rajkot feared that it would soon come to Rajkot itself. And so there were programs of action, preventive measures were taken, and Gandhi volunteered to work for it. He was part of the sanitation department. In that connection, we visited homes of people, of the very poor people, of the higher classes, of the untouchables. So 3 categories of people and their homes Gandhi had an occasion to see for himself, and such a huge contrast it presented. The poor people were very welcoming of these health visitors. They were prepared to show them their homes and their latrines. But the upper class people, they resented these visits. When Gandhi and his friends could get into the houses, it was a shocking situation. The houses were stinking. Toilets were really in a very awful condition. But the untouchables quarters, they were also very welcoming of these visitors. Very few people go to these people, actually, to their homes. But these health workers were asking to see their toilets. The answer to this question, can we see your toilets, your latrines, was a revelation. We and latrines, you think we have latrines? Latrines are for people like you, the big people. We manage everything in the open. See, that was their answer. But they were very happy to greet these visitors, showed them their houses, and the houses were very neatly kept. So that was Mohandas Gandhi's first exposure, we can say, to poor homes, to the homes of the untouchables. Could have filed away these pictures in his mind. See, much later when he came to India, he would have remembered all these things, and he was to take action against all those things. Now from this activity of preventing the plague, taking steps to prevent the plague, he had to shift to another area of action in Rajkot, and that was totally different. It was in connection with the Diamond Jubilee celebration of Queen Victoria. At that point in time, Mohandas Gandhi was supportive of the British Empire. Though the empire, the government had certain negative features, Gandhi felt that the people that they ruled over really benefited by British Raj. That was his opinion at that time. So he would sing the national anthem of Britain, God Save the King, God Save the Queen at that time, and he taught the anthem to his children. So that was the kind of attitude he had towards the British Empire. Of course, all that changed later. After the celebrations of the Diamond Jubilee got over, he went to Bombay with the Green Pamphlet. He spent 2 months there spreading the message therein, trying to lobby for the South African cause. He met some of the giants on the scene. He met Sir Firozshah Mehta, he met Ranade, he met Badruddin Thyabji, and he spoke to them about the South African situation. Sir Firozshah showed great interest in the question, and he suggested that they have a proper meeting in some big hall. So he was very happy. He went home to his sister. When he was in Bombay, he would stay with his sister, elder sister, and her husband. But he went there. Very sad things were happening there. His brother-in-law was very sick, he was bedridden, and Gandhi had to take him to Rajkot, and there he nursed him personally. As we have seen, he was very fond of nursing. So whenever there was a sick person, a person suffering from any illness, he at once started the work of looking after that person. But the brother-in-law died. Gandhi could not wait for the funeral because Sir Firozshah had already arranged the meeting in Bombay. So he had to rush to Bombay the day after the meeting was to take place. We'll see him in Bombay again, making waves in Bombay. Wait for the next episode to see what is happening in Bombay. Thank you.